Hello, my yarny friends. I'm Sara Sach, and welcome to another edition of This or That. And sometimes I call it This or That or the Other Thing. And what that actually means is I ask you a question relating to yarn or crochet or crafts, and you give me your honest opinion down in the comments underneath our video. All right, I do love reading your comments, so please do comment on the question. Or if you have a question that you want answered that I haven't been able to go over yet, you feel free to put that question down in the comments, and then I'll try to cover that in a later video. All right? All right, so are you ready to find out what today's question is? So today our question is, tassels or not? Or maybe never. Tassels are super fun and really easy to make. And I'm going to show you in just a few seconds how to make a template for different sized tassels and how easy they are to make. I've got 3 different sized ones here. You can see this one's smaller, the teal one's a little bigger, and then the gray one is the biggest one that I made of the 3. But the thing about tassels is you don't want to use them on everything, but they are fun additions to things like scarves or rugs, pillows, toys, lots of fun crochet items. Having a little tassel can make a difference. How about this shirt I'm wearing? I've got tassels on the ends of my ties, and I love it. In videos from years ago, my grandmother always called them tassels, and so I called them tassels, and I was corrected many times, and so I work really hard on saying tassels. I don't know why she called them that. The reason that I remember is she had this pillow that was from somewhere, I don't know, but she loved this pillow, and it was like a creamy white color, and it had these pom-poms like on a string on the front, and then in the 4 corners of the pillow it had a tassel, as she would call it, or a tassel. And we were not allowed to play with that pillow because it was kind of a white creamy color, and she was worried we would get it dirty. And I have to tell you, I was like 4 or 5 then, and I still remember that pillow. And that's why I always call them tassels, but I know we call them tassels. So here we have some really nice long tassels. This is a Christmas table runner that I did with some Ogo yarn in some Christmas colors, and I use it every year on my table. Well, I've only made it like 3 years ago, but I used it the last 2 years, and I absolutely love it. It's a really simple chevron. If you want the pattern for this, I'll put that link down in the notes under this video as well. Okay, but it has these nice long tassels, and I think that they look beautiful on this particular project. And so tassels are kind of one of those things that people either love them or they hate them. And it's okay. You don't have to like them if you don't want to. That's what these questions are all about, is just giving your opinion. All right, let's bring these tassels back over, and I'm going to show you what I do. Okay, so this is just some leftover cardboard from, a box I received. It says thank you on the back. And I made some templates. Okay. This one is 4 inches, which is this one. This one is 5 inches, which is this one. And then this one is 6 inches. Now, if you want your tassels even longer, like the ones on that table runner, you just get a piece of cardboard, and I like to use cardboard opposed to like paper because it is pretty sturdy. And you just cut it. I just cut a rectangle. They're not all the same size, but we want it to be sturdy enough to wrap yarn around. All right, then I just take my tape measure. I guess I should turn it this way so you can see that that is 6 inches. I mark off the inches, and then I cut them. This one I wanted 5, this one I wanted 4. You could make it even smaller or even bigger. And it makes a real simple template in order to make some tassels. And that's just a super easy way to make some templates. All right, let me show you how I make a tassel. So to make a tassel, you can use any thickness of yarn that you're working with. This is a medium weight number 4. These are both bulky number 5s, I think, or maybe number 6s. I can't remember because I just have these in my yarn stash. All right, so I just grabbed this one. This is a medium number 4, just a pink. I'm going to go ahead and do the big one just to make it a little easier for you to see. All right, and so what I do is I'm going to cut off 2 pieces that are about 10 to 12 inches long. One of these will be the top of the tassel, and the other one will be the part that we cinch in. Okay, so I'm going to set those aside because we're going to need those. Now I'm going to take the template that I made. All right, I'm going to just drop my ball of yarn on the ground. Okay, I have a carpeted floor, so it's totally fine. You can put it in a bowl or something like that. I just drop it on the ground because I know it's going to roll around. All right, so I'm going to just put this in the center, hold it with my thumb, and then I'm just going to wrap. Now, don't wrap too tightly or you'll have a hard time getting it off the cardboard. And the thickness of the tassel is totally up to you. If you're using a more thicker yarn, you might want to do less of your wraps. But if you're wanting a nice thick tassel, do as many as you want to. I usually do about 20 to 30, depending on the thickness of the yarn. All right, so now I've wrapped it as many times as I want. I'm going to bring it to the bottom and I'm going to cut it. All right, so now I have it on here. I'm going to take one of my strands of yarn, put it underneath and pull it to the top. All right, I'm going to go ahead and tie this into a knot, but I'm not going to tighten it up. I'm just going to keep it from coming off of the loops, and then we're just going to gently pull this off. And this is why you don't want to wrap it too tightly. You want to keep it nice and loose, but not too loose. All right, so we're done with the template. I'm going to go ahead and tie this knot nice and securely. And I always tie 3 knots. It's just the thing I do. All right, so there's the top. Now we're going to take this other strand, lay it out, and you're going to go down about 1 inch. You can do more or less depending on how long you've made your tassel. And we're going to take this strand and tie it here. And again, you want to tie that nice and securely. 3 knots. All right. All right, so now our tassel is attached here and we have our center or our cinched in portion. All right, I'm going to grab my big scissors over here. Oh, I didn't bring them in here. We'll go ahead and use these. Okay, since this is thinner yarn, it'll be okay. Now, you can cut it shorter if you want to, or you can make it long. It's kind of up to you. What I usually do is I first come in and I'll cut my loops. All right, then I'll push them all down, and then I'll just cut across, trying to stay as even as possible. This would have been a little easier with my bigger scissors. I should have brought them in here. Okay, then I kind of shake it a little bit. I look at it again to see if there's any of them that need to be adjusted. We just do a little bit more clipping. Now, they don't have to be perfect, but you want them to look nice. Okay, and that's just how simple it is to make a tassel or tassel. Okay, we'll call it a tassel. And they're super fun to put on, you know, pillows and all kinds of fun things. You can put them on your shopping bags. You can put them on purses. And the truth is, you don't have to make them out of yarn. You know, tassels can be made out of ribbon or cording or string or different things that you're, like if you're making, say, a leather bag and you've got some suede left, you can cut it into real thin strips and make a tassel. It's up to you in the project that you're making what medium you want to use to make your tassels out of. I'm using yarn because that's my medium. And of course, it makes really nice tassels. And it's super easy when you use templates. Sometimes if I'm just making a really small one, I'll use my hand. You know, my fingers, wrap it around my fingers and make my tassels that way. But I really love to keep these around. I keep these in a drawer. That way I can just grab them out and make tassels whenever I want to. All right, so back to our this and that question. Do you like to use tassels in your projects? And if you do, what projects have you used those tassels on? I would love to hear that. And remember, comment down underneath this video in this comment section so I can learn from you and you can learn from me and we can all learn from each other's comments. All righty, so that's our topic for today. Tassels, or as my grandmother said, tassels. I'll see you next week for another edition of This or That. Bye-bye now.